Am I the meanest?
Sure enough.
Am I the prettiest?
Sure enough.
Am I the baddest mofo go down around this town?
Sure enough.
All right, everyone, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giant sports talk and entertainment. It's Friday. A lot of Giant news coming up this Friday. A lot of interesting news. A lot of we got a restructure. We got a release of Elijah Penny. We have the James Bradberry scenarios. I want to talk about some James. I can't even talk right now. I want to talk about the James Bradberry and where he could potentially land up in a trade. I don't think the Giants are going to release him. I think they're better off trading him. They're better off trying to get something at least back for him. But Sterling Shepard is going to be back for the 2022 season. He looks like he's taking a 1-year deal. All the terms are not been divulged yet. The 29-year-old, of course, is the longest tenured player on the Giants right now. Is he the most productive wide receiver the last couple of years? Nope. But if the Giants release Shepard, they would have the Giants would have saved $4.5 million. But the wide receiver, basically, Shep, he wanted to return. And coming back from a torn Achilles, you're not going to be much of a market for you. So it would behoove him to take a 1-year deal and stay with the Giants. Try to rehab, try to come back and have a big year. You're you're 29 years old. Your big contract year is past. You hope you can extend your career a couple more seasons and gain a little bit more financial security for yourself after your retirement. So it's a good move for both teams. It's a good move for Shep, and it's a good move for the Giants as well. Speaking of that, James Bradberry. Well, first, Elijah Penny is also not going to be back with the Giants. Not a big loss. And I'm not saying that to be mean or malicious because I actually met his family the last preseason game last year. They sat behind us, and they're very, very nice. But like I said, is it something that we need to worry about? No, it's not a big deal. Giants have also just released Riley Dixon. Riley Dixon's out the door. Thank God. And I'm actually looking at this as it comes on live right now. So Riley Dixon has been released by the Giants, which is no shock. The Giants are going to save. Let's see how much they're going to save here. I haven't even, like I said, this is literally just coming through as I'm looking at it via the Twitter sphere. With the release of Riley Dixon, the Giants are going to save roughly about $2.8 million in cap space. So we're getting closer and closer. The axe is swinging. We're saving some money. We're trying to get under the cap as quickly as possible because that March 16th deadline is approaching. But I want to talk, one last thing. I always say one last thing, then I always talk about 50 other things. People always ask me, why aren't you doing mock drafts? Because I don't want to do mock drafts. I'm going to do one mock draft. I will do it a week before the draft. I've always assumed being a content creator means you create content, not just mock drafts. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But there will be one mock draft a week before the draft. But James Bradberry. Oh, James Bradberry with that total cap charge of $21.8 million this year. And this is his last year on his contract. So, it's interesting because we need the cap space and there's no way we can really hold on to him. We need to move on. We need to move on from him as quickly as possible just to save some space. And if you release him, if you do a pre-June 1st release, it's going to be $9.7 million in dead cap money. You're going to save $12 million. If you do a pre-June 1st trade, it's the exact same number. You're going to have 9.7 in dead, 12 in cap savings. Now, this is the interesting part. If you do a post-June 1st trade, it's kind of like the NBA thing where you can kind of spread out the money over a couple of years. You're going to actually have a dead cap number of 8.3 this year and 1.3 next year with a total cap savings in this year of 13.5. And that's also going to be post-June 1st trade as well. So you could save more money if you let him go or if you trade him June 1st. But the thing is, you want to get something for him. You don't want to just outright release him because he's still a productive player. He had a down season, but he's still I'm not going to say a top flight corner, but he is a good corner. He is more than serviceable. He is a guy that when he's right, he's within the top 10 corners of the league. When he's right. Now, my first destination I keep thinking of for him is you got to think of the Raiders. You got to think of Las Vegas. Why? Because Patrick Graham is there. He's a new coordinator. And and they have who's the guy in the secondary? Mullen. Is it Mullen? He's coming off. He only played 5 games last year. So they need help in the defensive backfield exponentially. And they're also $40 million under the cap, and he shined that first season under Graham. So there's no reason to think he couldn't catch lightning in a bottle again. Now, another place you could take a look at would be the Ravens. That would allow, if you sign with the Ravens, if he goes with the Ravens can get rid of Marcus Peters. Get kind of some, you just kind of work some new guys into the system. And Jimmy Smith, who's been in the league for you would think an eon, is going to be a free agent as well. So again, it would make sense if you're going to facilitate a trade that the Ravens would be a destination that you may want to look at it for the Giants. The other team I laughed because I thought about it yesterday would be the Bengals. Their top corners are Flowers, Hardgrave, and Eli Apple. Wouldn't you want to you have Joe Burrows, you have a window to potentially move forward and be a Super Bowl contender. And you don't want your top corners to be Apple, Flowers, and Hardgraves. And who knows if Apple and Hardgraves is even going to be there. He would be a significant upgrade to the Bengals. And it would allow you to match your defense at times with your offense. Now, then the other destination you always think of when it's a veteran is the Patriots. You give up maybe a 3rd rounder or a 4th rounder. You bring him in for 1 year. You let him go. You could probably get that compensatory pick back and get him for a 3rd and get your 3rd, 4th rounder back if you're the Patriots. So you don't lose anything and you pick him up for 1 season. And then you could re-sign him. But if you let him go, you're probably going to get the pick that you gave to the Giants. So it's a win. That's what the Pats do, though. That's literally what the Pats do. That's why they are the Patriots. And I'm trying to think if there's any other teams I could think of off the top of my head. I was going to say the Chargers until they went after and got Khalil Mack. So they're going to have to, they had 40, what do they have? 50, I think they have 55 million, 56 million, something around. I think it's 57 million in cap space they got, which is I know they have I don't know I think it's 57 and don't quote me yet. But I know they have the 2nd highest total in the league. You figure they're going to spend some cash, but they just got Khalil Mack. So you know what? They may not have the space to absorb a 2nd contract that large. But Chris Harris is a free agent. And they have Asante Samuels Jr. there as well. But and he was a 2nd round pick last year. So you could use a veteran presence like Bradberry. So you know what? But like I said, after the Khalil Mack trade, I don't think you could do that. I don't think you want to invest your capital into 2 players unless you're planning on re-signing him. I have to laugh because of the fact that one of the other reasons why we're in a little bit of this trouble is we restructured some of his money. So for James Bradberry. So we're on the hook for $5.6 million of restructure because of the whole Kenny G thing and the whole and the whole Kyle Rudolph thing. And James Bradberry's buddy on the other side, Dory Jackson, who said he would be devastated if they lost James Bradberry. Well, I'd be devastated too, because then you're going to have to start really making your money. You're really going to have to be the CB1. It's just amazing that we have to dump a guy who was a productive player, who's only got 1 year left on his deal because of the fact that we put ourselves in so much cap purgatory. So you're taking away a highly competitive player and you're moving him probably for a mid-round draft choice. So you don't not just totally losing out on him because of the fact that we couldn't manage our cap again for X amount of years. But that's just what the Giants are in. That's just the situation we're in. Gonna have the big stream on Sunday, 10:30 a.m. I know I said p.m. in my other video, but that's gonna be 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope everyone can jump in and join in. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting. We're gonna talk to Giants. We're gonna talk to draft. We're gonna have a couple special guests as always, like we do on the weekends. I'm not gonna tell you who it's gonna be, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. So join us. 10:30 a.m. Sunday Eastern Standard Time. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could like, maybe subscribe, ring that big new news, that'd be awesome.